I'm going to start this segment with a hefty content warning. We're about to see a pretty disturbing video showing cops abusing a child. Yeah, pretty fucked up. Who here has heard about the Rochester police officers arresting and pepper spraying a 9-year-old girl who is having a mental breakdown? Have we heard about that? You guys have heard about it, right? Kind of big news right now. Pretty big thing happening, you know? Yeah, if you guys are sensitive to this kind of stuff, you might actually want to mute the stream or like tab out and do something else for like the next 20 minutes or something like that. Like this is a pretty distressing video, okay? So like just prepare for that, okay? It's really fucked up. But little backstory before we get into the video. Basically, this video is the perfect example of why we need to defund the police and use that funding to create new segments of law enforcement to help deal with particular situations. This is the perfect example of why it is the police are not the correct people to be going out to deal with someone having a mental breakdown, okay? There are situations where something happens and someone just has a mental breakdown. It happened to me. For a little bit of background, I had a momentary lapse in judgment involving a fucking breakup with a girl that resulted in me attempting suicide. I tried to cut my own hand off. Really fucking stupid. Really fucking stupid. And I regret that to this day. However, thankfully, I wasn't violent, so the police didn't come and arrest me. Instead, I was taken to the hospital. However, with that said, all it took, how did you get your hand back? I didn't cut it all the way off. I got like, I don't know, maybe like a third, maybe a quarter of the way through. I don't know. Yeah, no. So listen, maybe 30 minutes later, once I got to the hospital and I was under the fluorescent lights and I was in the cool air conditioning and I had like calmed down, I instantly regretted it. I instantly fucking regretted it. Instantly. Sometimes somebody just needs to be in a calm place to chill out. They need to talk to somebody. They need to be comforted. When someone's having a mental breakdown, armed police officers are not capable of dealing with that situation. They're trained to deal with what they perceive as a threat with violence, no matter who it is. So for context with this, there was a family dispute happening in which a 9-year-old girl was having a mental breakdown. She wanted to see her dad, and the police tried to handcuff her and arrest her. And because this 9-year-old girl wouldn't get into the car, they pepper sprayed her. Meanwhile, she's screaming and crying for her dad. So let's go ahead and watch. It's a very depressing video. Try not, once again, content warning. Trigger warning. That is a long content warning. All right, I mean, yeah, makes sense. Wait, is the video not playing? The video's not playing. What the fuck? Okay, now it is. All right.
A 9-year-old girl handcuffed and pepper sprayed by police in Rochester, New York. We'll show you the video. I do want to warn you ahead of time. It is disturbing. It happened last week. Police have just, though, released the body camera videos of it. Here is what happened before the pepper spray.
I want my dad!
You're not gonna run off.
I want my dad!
Stop.
I want my dad!
9-year-old girl, by the way.
Now, police say the officers were responding to a report of family trouble. They were told this girl was suicidal. They were also told that she wanted to kill her mom. Police say she refused to get in the police car, and at one point she fell down to the ground and kicks an officer. They say they tried numerous attempts to get her in the car before using that pepper spray. We'll show you the events as the pepper spray unfolds. Again, I want to warn you, you may find this disturbing.
I've watched this video. There were like 7 cops there. All of them like jacked 6-foot-tall men. All right? There is no scenario. For one, this is just the perfect example of why the police can't handle situations like this. We need to have sections of our law enforcement specifically designated to be able to go out and handle situations when someone's having a mental breakdown and needs a very different type of attention than what the police can provide, because this is what happens when the police handle these situations. This is what people mean when they say defund the police. It's not just take money from the police. It's reallocate funding to create departments in the police that deal with situations like this, right? Listen, there is no way this 9-year-old girl could have harmed these jacked 6-foot-tall men, 6 or 7 of them, so much so that they should have to resort to using pepper spray on a 6-year-old child. Unless, then again, this 9-year-old girl could be an anime protagonist. I mean, from what I've heard, there are some anime protagonists that are children that can, punch through a brick wall. So maybe she just came straight out of an anime. Who knows? Also, you guys could probably guess this, but she's black. I imagine that had a lot to play into why the police treated her the way that she did. Because trust me, if a 9-year-old white girl was treated this way by the police, these cops would be getting beheaded in the street. There would literally be people calling for the fucking execution of these police. I kid you not. But it's a 9-year-old black girl from like a low-income neighborhood, so nobody cares.
Just prayer at this point.
Here's the pepper spray.
Dear.
So that was the pepper spray. He literally just says, here. He almost sounded like he was happy doing this. And she was already in the car. The reason they did it is because she wouldn't get her legs in the car. Could they really not just physically push her legs into the car and shut the doors? Could they really not do that? They really had to resort to the pepper spray there. And then he's just like, here. Didn't warn her. Didn't say, oh, I'm going to have to pepper spray you if you don't stop. Please stop doing this. I'm going to have to pepper. Like, even that wouldn't have made it right. But even then, he didn't even do that. This is a dude who just isn't getting enough from beating his wife. This cop just isn't getting his kicks from beating his wife anymore. You know, like, as we know, at least 40% of cops admit to beating their wives and their children. He's just not getting enough at home, so he's got to take it to the job. You know, he's got to abuse some children in the field. He just, bitch smacking his wife and kicking the shit out of his kids. This isn't doing it for him anymore. So, I understand.
She was taken to the hospital. She was later released. The police department says what happened is not okay. They're going to make sure it doesn't happen again. And here's what Rochester's mayor had to say about it.
I have a 10-year-old daughter, so she's a child. She's a baby. And I can tell you.
Oh, yeah, they didn't show it in this clip. I actually watched a full unedited clip where the cop says to this kid, prepare yourselves. The cop says to this 9-year-old kid, you're acting like a child. And do you know what this absolute Chad of a 9-year-old girl responds with? I am a fucking child. That was her response. Yeah. So, all cops, and I cannot stress this enough, are bastards. This is what we mean when we talk about defund the police, okay? For anybody here who's like center-leaning or isn't really all in on the defund the police thing, listen, this is what we're talking about. Situations like this are not what cops are prepared to deal with. Most police departments do not provide their officers with training to deal with situations like this. Police officers are trained to respond to a life-threatening situation with lethal force. That's what they're trained to deal with, because that's what they're supposed to deal with. That's what cops are for, dealing with dangerous situations. A situation like this could have been dangerous, don't get me wrong. However, Yeah, I can't wait for Candace Owens to say that she had fentanyl in her body. Yeah, no. Hey, listen, I wouldn't be surprised. But with that said, listen, this is what I keep talking about. This is what Black Lives Matter activists have been talking about. This is what advocates for defund the police have been talking about. We need departments specifically dedicated to dealing with something like this, to dealing with de-escalating a situation where someone is having a mental breakdown. Have you seen the signs that trend on social media? Hold on. There are shit tons of signs like this that exist on the internet that people have to put up just in case the police come, because somebody who has like autism or is prone to some kind of, or PTSD or any type of like mental mental breakdown at any point that needs to be dealt with carefully and cautiously through de-escalation. There are so many instances of people with autism or PTSD being murdered or brutalized by the cops because the cops are trained to react violently to a situation like this. Let's read the sign. Attention, an autistic man lives here. He does not know what a cop is or what a gun is. He makes loud noises. Autistic lives, I assume this is like Matter or something. Yeah, so it's literally a sign that someone has to put out in their yard to warn the cops, like, hey, someone lives here who has a mental disability that may prevent them from responding to the request of the police. Please do not fucking kill them. Please do not brutalize them. This is a warning out in the front. We should not be living in a country where this is necessary. When someone is having a mental breakdown, we need trained, prepared social workers that know how to de-escalate the situation dealing with this kind of stuff. Not fucking armed cops that when they're dealing with a 9-year-old girl having a mental breakdown that won't put her legs into the police car and is crying for her father, that they'll just fucking, with a smile on their face, go ahead and spray pepper spray in the eyes of. I've been pepper sprayed before. I know how that shit feels. It's not pleasant. To be fair, when I was pepper sprayed, I did it to myself. But like, listen, all right? That's actually a funny story. My mom bought a little thing of bear mace, and I think I was like trying to attach it to a keychain for my mom because my mom had like long nails, and I needed to put it on to the keychain, and I accidentally, like my knuckle accidentally pushed down the mace, and it was just for half a second a spritz straight in my eye because like the way that it works is like the thing that you attach it to is like right on the thing that you push down. It was like a really bad design. So I accidentally pushed it down with my knuckle and boom, right in my fucking eyes. It was very painful. I cannot imagine how hard, and I was 13. I can't imagine how hard that is for a 9-year-old girl to deal with. But this is just exactly what we're talking about when we say all cops are bastards, and defund the police. So yeah, really disturbing story. If I'm being honest, I don't know what's going to come from this. If I'm guessing, like, mark my words on this, I think the cops that were involved in this will probably get paid leave for like a week or maybe a month at most. That's what I'm going to guess is going to happen. It'll be paid leave. If the person who killed Breonna Taylor could get away with killing an innocent black woman, then I'm pretty sure this cop who just pepper sprayed a kid will get away with it. And it is definitely because the kid is black. Let's not pretend. Guys, let's not pretend that if this was a white girl, a little 9-year-old white girl, this cop would not be fucking... There would be calls for his execution, okay? There would be calls for this cop's execution. Anyway, yeah. Like I said, defund the police. That's what we're talking about. Hey, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. It helps the video a lot. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe and ring the bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when I live stream or upload a new video. Also, if you're watching this right after it was uploaded, I should be live in 1 hour at 1 p.m. PST every day on YouTube and my website, xanderhall.com. Please come stop by and say hello. I love seeing new people in chat. Also make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description. Join my fan Discord if you want to contact me for a discussion or debate through the link in the description as well. If you're feeling extra generous and you can afford it, you can support me financially by donating or subscribing on my website, hitting the join button below the video to become a channel member, or super chatting during my streams. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.